I'm Colin. Today I'm going to read Africa's favorite storybook, Penguin Pete. It's just one kind of weird. Here I go. Penguin Pete. Once upon a time, there was a colony of penguins living happily together in the Arctic. The youngest penguin was called Pete. He was so small that his other penguins called him Pin-sized Pete. Don't worry, said Pete's mother. All penguins are pin-sized when they're young. One day you'll grow bigger, and then you'll be able to swim in the sea with the rest of us. He thought the grown-up penguins looked beautiful swimming in the sea. He wanted to grow up fast so he could join them. But when the penguins came back in the evening and watered him gently to their nesting places, he couldn't help laughing. They look funny. They look so funny. Grown-up penguins couldn't move about on the snow and ice any better than Pit-sized Pete. I'll show them a penguin can move gracefully on land, said Pete to himself, and he began practicing flipper skating every day. It was great fun. He slid about all over the ice and usually ended up on the ground with a thump. Now and then, same some of the other penguins who were penguins' friends stay home with them. They had a wonderful time playing hide and seek, making snow penguins, and having snow fights. The time flew by. One day, a flock of birds landed on a patch of ice where penguins lived, calling and screeching and flapping their wings. Pete marched proudly through the rows of birds. How tiny were He felt very big and grown up. "Hello," said one of the little birds. "What kind of a funny bird are you?" "I'm a penguin," he said. "My name's Pete." "Pleased to meet you, Pete," said the little bird. "My name's Steve. Let's have a flying whiz." "Don't be silly," said Pete. "I can't fly." "Then it's time you learned," said Steve. "All you have to do is flap your wings hard. Just watch me. It's quite easy. He tried and tried to fly, but he couldn't. He could only jump. He could only jump in a little way into the air." Pete and Steve were soon great friends, even they even if they couldn't go flying together. But Pete wanted nothing better than to fly with his friend. Although he tried to take off over and over again, his flight was always ended in a crash landing. Ended in a crash landing. The day came when the flock of birds had to move on. There was nothing Steve could do about it. As the two friends said goodbye, Big Penguin's tears trickled down Pete's cheeks. "Never mind, Pete," Steve called back as he flew away. "I'm sure we'll be landed on a patch of ice again next year." Pete was very sad. Poor Pete. But his mother knew how to cheer him up. The next morning, he was allowed to go swimming in the sea for the first time. He was very excited through the thought of driving into the water. At first, rather scary. But Pete found two ledges of ice at the water edge. At the water's edge, he climbed curiously down the ledges and slid backwards into the sea. "I'll do a probably drive tomorrow," thought Pete. Pete's first few strokes were rather clumsy, but soon he was gliding through the cold water like an eel. He could even do a backstroke. He came last in the most of the swimming races. And he lost when the penguins played games, but Peter was a good loser. He never tried of looking at all the fish and seaweed. There was something new around the corner of even every rock. What a wonderful, mysterious place the sea was. The moon was rising by the time Peter waddled happily back to his mother. He felt far too tired to tell her about all his adventures. But that could wait until tomorrow. He fell fast asleep at once and dreamed of Steve, the sea, and the dive he was going to do the next day. The end. Wow, that's a good story, Colin. Thanks, Everest. Alright, everyone. If you want to try to read the book of Penguin Pete, do let us know down in the comments below. Make sure to push like, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And that's all I wanted to know. So I'll talk to you later. See ya!